Brandon stepped closer, his jaw locking tight, ego blazing in his eyes. "Don't tell me what to do, old man," he snapped. "You don't control me. Nobody does." A few bystanders instinctively pulled out their phones and started recording, because when someone starts yelling at a 70-year-old veteran in a public park, everyone knows trouble is about to follow. And they were right. Before anyone could even react, Brandon shoved Sam violently. Violently enough that the veteran's feet actually lifted off the ground for a split second. Violently enough that Sam crashed shoulder first onto the pavement, his head striking the concrete with a sickening crack that made people gasp. Scout barked frantically, straining to reach him. A woman screamed. One man rushed towards Sam while another held up his phone, shouting that he was calling the police. And Brandon? He smirked. He actually smirked. Then he said the words that would ignite an entire city. "Call the cops. My dad is the police chief. I dare you." He stepped back, brushed imaginary dust off his suit jacket as if Sam were nothing more than a minor inconvenience, climbed back into his BMW, and drove away like he hadn't just assaulted a man who served 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. Sam lay on the ground, dazed, clutching his wrist. Pain shot up his arm. His ribs burned with every breath. Blood trickled near his temple. And even then, even in pain, he apologized to the people helping him. That was Sam Walker, always thinking of others first. The ambulance arrived quickly. Sam was rushed to Rhode Island Hospital where doctors confirmed a concussion, a fractured wrist, and 3 broken ribs. Meanwhile, park security footage spread rapidly to local news stations. Once the city saw what had happened to a respected American veteran, Providence erupted in outrage. That's why the courtroom is packed today. That's why every seat is filled. That's why the air feels heavy. Because this isn't just a crime. It's a violation of respect, service, and basic humanity. When the clerk announces the case, the state of Rhode Island versus Brandon Hale, the entire courtroom seems to inhale at once. That deep, collective breath people take right before a storm hits. Brandon rises slowly, adjusting the cuffs of his suit like he's preparing for a photo shoot instead of a criminal hearing. Standing beside him is his high-profile attorney, Alan Pierce, polished and confident, the kind of lawyer people hire to make problems disappear. But Brandon has no intention of letting anyone control him, not even the man he's paying a fortune. Judge Caprio looks down calmly, that familiar fatherly expression resting on his face, the kind that usually softens people. But Brandon doesn't soften. He hardens. "Mr. Hale," the judge begins, "you are charged with assault and battery on an elderly person, Mr. Samuel Walker, age 70, an American veteran. How do you plead?" Before Alan Pierce can even stand, Brandon steps forward slightly, planting himself like he owns the courtroom. "Not guilty," he says loudly, confidently, dripping with entitlement. "This whole thing is ridiculous." The word ridiculous slaps the room. Veterans in the gallery shift sharply. A woman gasps. Someone mutters under their breath. Judge Caprio blinks slowly, the way he does when deciding whether to extend grace or deliver reality. "Ridiculous?" he repeats, removing his glasses. "Mr. Hale, I've reviewed the security footage. I've read the medical reports. I've seen the photographs. Would you like to reconsider that word?" Alan Pierce touches Brandon's arm, urging silence, but Brandon brushes him off and doubles down. "With all due respect," Brandon begins, and everyone knows disrespect is coming. "This is being blown out of proportion. Some old guy got in my way. I barely touched him. The oxygen drains from the room. Some old guy." Veterans stiffen. One grips his armrest so tightly his knuckles turn white. Judge Caprio never raises his voice. He doesn't need to. That old guy spent years risking his life so you could enjoy freedoms you take for granted. Brandon rolls his eyes. The disrespect lands like a cold wind. Alan Pierce steps in nervously. "Your Honor, my client is young." "No," Caprio interrupts calmly. "I asked your client, not you." The room freezes. Brandon straightens his jacket. "Look, I was having a bad day. I didn't know he was a veteran. How was I supposed to know?" That's the moment Judge Caprio's compassion reaches its limit. It shouldn't matter whether he's a veteran or not. Assault is assault. But the fact that you think his service is the only thing that makes this serious tells me everything about your character. The tension coils tighter. Judge Caprio leans back, folds his hands, and says 4 words that change everything. Let's watch the footage. The room goes silent as the video begins. Not courtroom silent, graveyard silent. The peaceful park scene fills the screen. Families walking, leaves scattered, Sam strolling with Scout. Then the BMW enters the frame too fast. Gasps ripple. The brakes slam. Brandon explodes out of the car, storming toward a 70-year-old man. No dramatic angles. No edits. Just raw reality. Then the shove. Sam hits the ground hard. People flinch. A woman covers her mouth. Veterans stiffen like they've been punched. Sam's head strikes the pavement. Brandon stands over him, pointing, shouting, pure contempt in his posture. Then he walks away. When the screen goes black, no one moves. Judge Caprio turns slowly. Still think this is ridiculous, Mr. Hale? Brandon swallows, color draining from his face. And then Judge Caprio looks past him. Chief William Hale, would you please come forward? The room explodes in stunned silence. Heads turn. Cameras rise. Sitting in the back, blending in, is the police chief of Providence, Brandon's father. He stands slowly, the weight of 35 years of service settling on his shoulders. Brandon turns, panic flooding his face. Chief Hale walks forward. No badge, no uniform, just a father approaching the truth. I know what my son did, he says quietly. And he was wrong. Brandon whispers, Dad, please. Chief Hale raises one hand. Enough, he continues. My position does not make him untouchable. And it never will. Brandon's face crumples. I failed him, the chief admits, because the man standing here today is not who I tried to raise. Then he turns fully to his son. I love you, but love doesn't mean shielding you from consequences. Love means holding you accountable. He faces the judge. Your Honor, do not go easy on him. Not for me. Not for my name. Judge Caprio listens, then delivers his sentence. 90 days in county jail. 200 hours serving elderly veterans at the VA. A year of anger management. Public apology. Speaking to police recruits about privilege and humility. Brandon breaks down, nodding through tears. This isn't just punishment, Judge Caprio says. This is transformation. 6 months later, Brandon walks free, changed. Waiting outside is Sam Walker, leaning on a cane, Scout at his feet. No anger, just grace. They talk. They heal. Brandon keeps serving at the VA long after his hours end. He listens. He learns. His apology video goes viral, not because it's polished, but because it's real. His father attends counseling with him. Slowly, painfully, they rebuild. Brandon becomes a man shaped by accountability, not entitlement. Because justice isn't just about consequences. It's about transformation. And real love doesn't protect people from consequences. It walks with them through the consequences that make them better.